Okay, so I know you're gonna think this is clickbait, but I promise it's not. This is a thing that happened to me. Hey guys, it's Sadie, and I'm surprised I've never told you this video before, but yes, I did go blind in my left eye for a little bit, and that's the story I'm going to tell you in this video. So when I was a freshman in high school, like the beginning of the year, I noticed my left eye started hurting. And I just kind of ignored it at first because I thought maybe it was just like eye strain or like I was on my phone too much, which I probably was. So I just ignored it, and then it got progressively worse. And then I noticed that this eye was starting to get blurry, and I was like, damn, I need glasses. And I didn't want glasses, and I was like, I don't know, let's just see if it goes away. So I kept ignoring it, and then finally like it got really bad. And I told my mom. And she told me that I probably had a sty in my eye because like I had just started wearing makeup, and like that would, and then like I googled it, and like you can't get them like under your eyelid, and that can affect your vision. But I think it's when my mom was talking about it, she was talking about like the eye gunk, but I'm like, does not, and like I have gotten like eye gunk in my eye before. I'm like, oh my god, everything's blurry, and then you take it out, like it's not there for days in a row. But I was like, okay, it's a sty, I guess. After a while, my vision wasn't just blurry, it started to get like dark. I was like, Mom, like my vision, like I'm starting to like not be able to see out of this eye. And she was like, oh, like do your hot compress, get the hot washcloth, put it on. And I was like, and like I would tell her it hurt, and she thought that meant like it was irritated or something, like an eye infection. But like it was like sore pain, like it was sore, like it hurt. It wasn't like itchy or burning, like it was, there's like a pressure, like right behind my eye, not a headache, it was like my eye. It was so weird. And I was telling her that, and she got me eye drops, and those didn't do anything. So then I woke up one day, and I was completely blinded in this eye. And I don't know why I didn't freak out. Like, some people are like, oh my god, I would freak out. I think it happened so slowly, and I have this weird thing where there's times when I should freak out, and I'm just calm, like, completely calm. So, like, I walked into the room, I'm like, oh yeah, I can't see the side at all now. And since I downplayed it so much, which is what I do with everything, like you could stab me in the leg, and when I tried to get help, I'd be like, oh, I kind of got a cut. It's not that bad, but like it's kind of cut, and there's like a knife sticking out my leg. Like that's just how I am. So I downplayed it, and I was like, but I used the words, I cannot see out of this eye, and that to me means you can't see at all. Like, I'm not known for exaggerating, like I don't exaggerate things like that. Like if anything, I downplay them. But my mom thought I was being dramatic, and it was just really blurry. And she's like, well, like, you're not doing your hot compresses, and I wasn't because I don't do anything. And then the pain got so unbearable that I just couldn't take it anymore. Like it was just a shooting, constant pain right behind my eye. So the next day, I'm like, Mom, like, we have to go to like a urgent care clinic or like somewhere. Like I can't live with this. This is like serious because I'm blind. But she didn't realize I was like blind. She didn't realize I was blind at all. She thought it was just like eye gunk in my eye, and it's not her fault. Like this isn't my mom's fault. Like I downplay everything. I was like so calm and like cavalier about it. So we go to like one of those 24-hour clinics, and not the hospital, and we like check into the front counter, like, oh, like, so what are you in here for? And my mom talking for me went, well, like she has blurry vision in her eye and in pain. I was like, no, it's not blurry, it's like I can't see out of it. And I should have used the word dark or blind, but I didn't want to use the word blind because I didn't know what technically made someone blind. Like I didn't want to use a technical word, but I thought I can't see anything at all. It was clear. And she's like, stop talking over me. Let me explain it. And she's like, no, you're not explaining it right. You don't get it. And that's when I realized, I'm like, oh, she doesn't realize I cannot see out of here. Like, this is nothing. So I eventually get called back, and there's one of those, like, seeing eye charts, and he goes, okay, just cover your bad eye and read for your good eye. So I did it. 20/20 vision. So I cover this eye, and he goes, okay, read whatever you can. I'm like, I can't see anything. He goes, you can't read any of the words? I'm like, no, I can't see anything. And he's like, what? And then he holds up a pen. He goes, what color is it? I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, oh, so you're blind in that eye? I'm like, yes, yes. So then, like, the doctor comes in, and she does all these tests, and she goes, she's blind. Like, take her to the emergency room right now. She's blind in that eye. Blind. And so we went to the emergency room. And, like, still, I'm not, like, fully realizing that this is a big deal, because, like, my brain does that. I guess it's, like, a coping mechanism where, like, in situations where I should be freaking out, I'm completely calm, even though I was blind in one of my eyes. And I remember, like, I got, put into a room, and there was, like, it wasn't, like, a, like, room we stay in, but, like, it was just, like, a waiting room or something, but there was a bed, and like I went to go sit in the chair, and my parents like, oh no, go ahead, go sit in the bed. And I was like, what? And so I sat in the bed, and then like the nurse came and goes, oh yeah, get comfortable. And he started like putting the blanket over me. I'm like, what? I'm not staying. I didn't realize. So then the doctor sees me, she talks to me, and she goes, okay, like what's wrong? And I said, I'm blind in this eye. And she's like, you're blind in that eye? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, you're very calm. I'm like, eh. So she did the flashlight test, and I saw the light coming with this eye, so I flinched. But I did not see it coming with this eye. So she was like, how'd you see that if you're blind in that eye? You're blind. You know you flinch? You flinched when you saw the light. I was like, So she does all her tests and stuff, and she's like talking to my parents like I'm not right next to them. She goes, does she have any trauma lately, or like does she have anxiety or depression? And they're like, no. And she goes, yeah, I don't think she's really blind in that eye. I think she's faking it, or like she's going through trauma and like she thinks she's blind in that eye, but she's not. And I was like, I'm not faking it. She goes, then why are you so calm? I'm like, do you want me to freak out and start crying on the floor and having a panic attack? Is that what you want me to do? Like, you just be happy that I'm calm. Like, do you want me to freak out? Because now I am. And she's like, okay, well, like, I'll just send the eye doctor in just in case. Like, it was almost like to rule it out so he could be like, nope, she's not blind, and everyone could go home. And I was blind. So anyway, she was very rude. The eye doctor comes in. He's great. Very nice. He looked into my eye with, like, a tool thing, and he's like, yep, her optic nerve is inflamed. Like, she is blind in the eye. And the doctor was so embarrassed. She's like, wait, she is? I'm like, oh my god. It is an unusual thing to just randomly be blind in one eye. I guess what I had is not common, but like, don't act like that. So anyway, I get admitted right away, and he diagnosed me with something called optic neuritis. And optic neuritis is when your optic nerve, and that's like the nerve right behind your eye that sends images to your brain. So like everything that like sees stuff worked fine. It's just nothing was bringing it back to my brain because the optic nerve was inflamed. And since it was inflamed, that's not a large area behind my eye. That was what was hurting, because it was all the pressure, because like it was inflamed but didn't fit in there, and that does damage to my myelin sheath. And if you remember from like biology or psychology, that's like the protective layer over your nerve, and it makes nerves send faster, and that was messing everything up too. So that's what happened. But optic neuritis isn't really a diagnosis, it's a symptom. Like, if you have a fever, that's a symptom. So it could be from the flu, it could be from an infection, it could be a cold, like, but you don't get diagnosed with a fever. A doctor puts a thermometer in your mouth and figures out you have a fever, and then from there tries to figure out what disease you have. So optic neuritis is a symptom. They saw that my optic nerve was inflamed, but it doesn't happen by itself. But I had no other symptoms. They asked me. So they couldn't figure out what it was. So anyway, I get admitted, and they pump me up with prednisone, which is a steroid, and it's anti-inflammatory to bring the swelling down in my nerve. And like within the first day, the pain went away at least, but I was still very much blind in this eye. and they start running all these tests. The two, like when they first found out I had optic neuritis, they basically told my parents I had MS. Like they were like 70% sure I had MS because I was at the age where it usually develops, and most of the time when someone has optic neuritis, that's like the first marker for MS. Like if you normally if a 14-year-old girl walks into hospital with optic neuritis and no other symptoms, it's MS. So the first thing they did is they did an MRI, and they found out that there was no MS. So that's good. So then they're like, okay, next one is lupus. Tested me for that, don't have it. Those were the two most likely things for me to have. So then they had to start testing for a bunch of weird stuff. So they did a bunch of blood work for me, like they put so much blood for me. They did spinal tap, which is not fun. So if you don't know what spinal tap is, it's also called a lumbar puncture. They take a needle that's really long, like this big, and they stick it into your lower spine and then suck out juices from your spine, and then somehow they can use that to diagnose you with stuff. It sucks. So they test me for everything. I'm in there for about a week, like 5 days, but I missed a whole week of school, and they didn't find anything. They were just gonna send me home, and they were gonna like wean me off the steroids. And like I was on like 1,000 milligrams of steroids a day, like 500 in the morning, 500 in the night. And if you don't know anything about prednisone, it makes you gain a bunch of water weight. Like it gives you like a moon face. Like I looked like the moon emoji. Like here's a picture. Like, it looked bad. My entire face broke out, and I was so hungry. Like I would eat everything. Like worse than a pregnant person. I swear to God, like worse. It was insane. And it also made me like really like moody. Like I'd be up and down, up and doing. Like it was like PMSing, but like times 10. So I leave the hospital. I get weaned off the steroids. My vision is slowly but surely coming back. And if you thought this was the end of the story, guess what? It's not. So as I'm being weaned off the steroids, I noticed that my vision was getting worse. And it's not supposed to do that. It's supposed to get better. So yeah. So I called my eye doctor, which I had already like seen a couple times, and she told me to go back to the hospital. And it had only been like a month. So anyway, they go back, they pumped me up with steroids again. I think they redid my MRI or something. They still can't figure it out, and that's what made it unusual, because sometimes optic neuritis can be idiopathic, which means it has no reason. But if it's coming back, that's not good. Like it has to be something, like something's actively attacking my autoimmune system. And then I'm seeing like my eye doctor, a rheumatologist, and they can't figure it out. Like I got sent to like the eye specialist, like the leading eye specialist in the nation. He doesn't know. No one knew why. So they basically just kept me on steroids because they didn't want me to do more like damage to my eye. Like every time my nerve gets inflamed, it does more permanent nerve damage. So I was on prednisone for 4 whole months, which is hell. I gained like 30 pounds. My face was always breaking out. I had the moon face. I didn't look like myself. And it messed with my hormones so much that I was like kind of depressed, if I'm being honest. And I hated it. And then finally, like, they're like, okay, we can't keep a child on prednisone this long. They will start, like, it'll start buttering their bones away. Literally, that's what it does if you're on it too long. So like, okay, we're gonna wean you off. And like, they were like very nervous for me. So like, they would want to keep me on medicine. So instead of trying to wean me off again, they weaned me off just to put me on another medicine that's less damaging. So they were like, okay, we're gonna put you on this new medicine called methotrexate, and it doesn't have the symptoms of steroids. Like, it won't make you hungry, it won't make you gain weight. It's great. And I was like, okay, perfect. Let's do it. Then I found out that it's an injection once a week, which isn't fun. You have to do it at home, which isn't fun. And they're like, oh yeah, and it'll make you feel really fatigued the first day. And I was like, oh, okay. So they're like, yeah, do it on a weekend. I was like, okay. So I did it. It would make me exhausted and out of it, like zony, drowsy, for an entire 24 hours once a week. And like I don't think people understand how much that sucks. Like I lose an entire day of the week. Like I can't really like watch much on like Netflix or YouTube because like I was out of it. Like I couldn't focus on things. I couldn't pay attention to things. I felt like crap, and I wasn't really tired. Like I couldn't fall asleep and just sleep all day. I was just like that. And even on Monday morning, I was tired. If I had tests on Monday morning, I was screwed. If I had to get all my homework done before Sunday, so I'd start my homework Friday night as soon as I got home, and it sucked. And like I felt it was like being really, really sick once a week. Like it sucked so much. And that, I think, still messed with my hormones a little bit, too, as well. But at least I looked like myself again. Like, it was still better than steroids, but, like, I was miserable. And at this point, I have, like, 90% of my vision back. Like, I'm fine. I have no other symptoms. The only negative symptoms I'm having is from the medicine. And they're like, no, you gotta stay on it. What if it comes back? I'm like, I would rather lose a little bit more vision in this eye than stay on this medicine any longer. And then we saw another specialist, and she said I should just stay on it for life, just to be safe. And the analogy my mom came up with is that's like wearing a cast at all times because you might break your arm. So finally, the one eye specialist that told me to stay on it for my entire life referred me to a neurologist just to like get more of an opinion from a neurologist's perspective and make sure I don't have MS, because he was like the leading MS doctor in my area. So I was like, okay, we'll go. And then like he reviews my chart and everything. He goes, okay, listen, there's no reason you should be taking methotrexate. Like I want to try to be politically correct, but like you don't have to be taking it. And it's like, what? He goes, yeah, like it wouldn't stop an MS or a lupus or any autoimmune outbreak. Like if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. It can't stop an outbreak. And the only thing, it doesn't really do much. Like anti-inflammatory medicine, it can make inflammation go down quicker, but it doesn't make it go down more than it would have by itself. It just happens faster. So you don't keep someone on that for over a year. I was on the methotrexate for over a year, and like a year and a half exactly, actually. And I was like, so you're telling me I was on this medicine for a year? I didn't have to be. I was literally crying because I didn't have to take that medicine anymore. So I go off of it, and I was so happy. I like couldn't believe it. Like not just because I was off of it, also because like I just was naturally, and I really like, yeah, that was definitely messing with my hormones. No one is supposed to be pumped with that much medicine for so long, especially when they're a child. And that was years ago, and I have 20/20 vision in both eyes. The only difference is this eye, things look a little faded, but like barely. And I don't notice it unless I close this eye, because this eye compensates for this eye. The eyes just naturally do that. The brain is cool. And yeah, I'm okay. But it was wild, and it sucked. Hi, I'm Sadie. If you're new, please subscribe, check out my other videos. I do like a variety of content. And if you're not new, thank you for coming back. Don't unsubscribe. Like, comment, share, all that jazz. Peace out.